From the Sidelines on 1580 KGAL.
I just want you to know that here we are. The news is over. We're ready to begin From the Sidelines. And I have CD2. There are two of them. A lot of people think when I miss the opening thing with the Baja Mashugna Band, you think it's so darn easy at home. It's not. There are two machines. Unlike the turntables, which I worked with for many years as a fine disc jockey, you could always see what was going on. You knew what was happening. This new technological world, one of the things they want to do is to hide everything from us so that we don't know what's going on. Eventually, I believe that those that are responsible for CD machines and computers and such will take over the world. After we have no idea what's going on inside any of these things, we are going to be their subjects. I believe that's true of CD machines. Therefore, I have my problems with it. I like the days when you could take a record, go with your finger, and you saw when it was going to start. Many times for this program, I forget whether I put the CD in machine 1 or machine 2. That's when we have the silence, and everybody at home laughs when I come on and say, I did it again. I want you to know this morning, I know darn well that CD is in machine 2. I'm going to press its button, and in just a moment, we will hear the Baja Mashugna Band. Are you ready? You like that? That's not easy. I mean, two machines, that's a little confusing for me. It was easier in the days of the turntable. And you need to understand that. And instead of laughing at me at home, you just need to understand that I'm of the age, I hit 35 in October, when you have to begin making changes, and sometimes something that you've done all your life and just is a matter of course is very difficult to change. And so the next time that I miss the opening and I don't have the Baja Mashugna Band ready and I have to come out and say, oh gosh, are we starting already? I don't want insults from home. All right, that's all I'm asking. I'm a little sensitive this morning. I want you to be more compassionate, more understanding, and that's where we start. Here is a man who has no trouble with the present technology. I know that because I always see him, my wife always tells him, and it is so sad when a member of your family falls prey to the thing. My wife is in that generation now. I mean, she's up there with me. She turned 33 in June. But she's in that generation that allows all these things, the cell phone and the thing and the hitting and the computer and stuff. And she's always telling, oh, you see what Wally posted? And my response, I don't care, means nothing. It's nothing to her. She always mentions that this man who feels so comfortable with this generation, and that's why he's so darn beloved. People, they don't understand me and my desire to just hang on to what was. Why not? It's always been there. Why should I let it go? This man, though, has ease, and therefore he's accepted by everyone. People come by, they smile, they go, hey, Wally. Wally Ordeman, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning to you.
That's quite... Dave Adams with the token applause.
And Dave Adams.
Yeah, not so sure about beloved. Not so sure about beloved. That was quite a lead-in.
I would say so.
Yeah, you've set the bar pretty high there.
Dave Adams, who joined our staff here and is fantastic at all these things. He knows the whole computer thing. He's our engineer. Knows the whole inside. So there's a little distrust there, Dave. Forgive me. I wonder,
No worries.
And he's a minister, but I sometimes wonder if the devil sent you, because a minister would not be dealing with all these things. They are the works of Satan. But that's all right.
Well, okay.
We're all gathered here in our studio today to discuss sports. So what's on your mind? I don't have anything.
Well, let me say too, I enjoy Mary Jo's posts as well. So she is obviously very educated, and she posts some great things on there too. So we got a mutual admiration society thing going on here.
Posting. Look what Wally posted. I don't care.
I will admit, I really do enjoy Facebook. Yeah. I really do. I'm hooked. And it's not a religion to me. I don't spend all my time on it, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy it for the pictures. I enjoy seeing what friends are doing. Mm-hmm. I have no problem admitting that I enjoy Facebook.
There are a couple of times I've really liked it. One was last Friday night. You know, Rob Allen and I were up at Sherwood doing the fine Sherwood football game and with Lebanon. And Niagara was playing Oregon State out at Gill Coliseum.
Right.
Before we parted last week, I mentioned Niagara is one of the teams that I watched when I was growing up in Buffalo. They would sometimes come down to what we call the Memorial Auditorium on Saturday nights. They were part of the Little Three, St. Bonaventure, Niagara, and Canisius. Canisius would play there, I think, each weekend. And every once in a while, Niagara would be there, particularly if they played Canisius or Bonaventure. It was a big game in Buffalo. So I love Niagara, and still on Sundays, I will check to see how Niagara did when they have all those results in the paper, particularly on Sunday down our way.
Yep.
Niagara came to Oregon State last week. Would have been the last chance probably of my lifetime to see a Niagara game. But I couldn't do it because I was up in Sherwood. And as Rob and I were doing the game, Scott Landgren, who went to the game, he posted a picture of the basketball court with Niagara.
Very good.
That was nice.
But that is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. That was very considerate, knowing that you'd be able to see that. I like that.
Yeah. And Ryan was off at the Jets game last Sunday.
Right.
And posted, while he was there, the crowd.
Yep.
You know, a scene from the stadium. And that was, that was
Wally?
good. Where's Wally? But I felt like, even at that moment, those two who are part of the younger generation were trying to draw me in.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they were doing. And while I enjoyed the pictures, I now have this different perception of both Scott and my son, that they have joined the other side.
The legions of people that do enjoy this medium.
That they're gone. And you see that in probably in the whole Twilight, the whole Twilight movie that's out now.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure out why they wanted a movie about just sunsets. But
Ray.
Mark Workhoven, with whom I work in the morning,
right.
He's part of that younger generation that's trying to win me over. He's on the satanic side also. It's a sad thing, but it's true. He told me it's about vampires. And in the vampire movie, when they bite you, you become what?
A vampire.
The answer is, you forgot to pose it in the form of a question. I like Jeopardy. What is a vampire? Yes, you do. It's the same thing with this stuff. Once you allow yourself to be on Facebook, and you're bitten by it, you are part of the technological vampire thing.
That's right.
You may as well be zombified, where when you're posting, you can see what I'm doing with my arms. They can't see it at home.
Yeah.
It's like a zombie. All right, where are we?
Sports.
Yes. Yes, indeed. We need to do our warm-ups. As you know, each Friday we do a warm-up. You can't just state, this is a sports thing. You can't
That wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
You can't play a sport without warming up. You can't talk about sports or be an announcer without warming up. Would you please, this morning, spell for me Ben?
Ben?
Mm-hmm.
B-E-N.
I would note to the audience that just said, well, that's stupid, all the things you're saying about being zombified. Did you notice how long it took him to spell Ben?
I was waiting for the trick.
Did you?
I thought there had to be a catch to this.
Do you know why it took him so long to spell Ben?
What they also couldn't see... What they also couldn't see was my quizzical look at you like, are you nuts?
Well, that still does not account for a 15-minute delay before spelling
No,
Ben.
it certainly doesn't. You want to give me another one?
Yes, well, he's warming up. I'll give him Roethlisberger.
R-O-T-H.
Wait a minute, what was it? Let me write it down. Let me get a pen. And at home, anybody at home, maybe you don't know how to spell Roethlisberger.
No, I got it.
This is going to be worth the price of admission today. R-O-T-H.
L-I-S.
L-I-S.
B-E-R-G-E-R.
Oh, that's not bad. But there is that silent E in there. R-O-E-T-H.
Oh.
L-I-S, burger.
All right.
So I'm sorry. Well, you're not quite warmed up, but you're ready to go anyway.
Okay.
Tonight, we have some high school football that's big. It's the quarterfinals. West Albany is there again, which means one more time, Ryan and Wally get to broadcast another game. Well, I will be sitting at home. But it's at Silverton again.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one, the rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time they held Jake Lacoste to his lowest output of the season.
Yeah,
right?
221 yards.
And the lowest offensive output of the season for the entire team.
Yes, no doubt. And I believe it was, I want to say 60 or 80 yards passing and 221 yards on the ground for Jake Lacoste, which is still an outstanding game, but 5 turnovers. And Silverton capitalized on a couple of those, and that was the margin right there.
The feeling is that this time they don't commit the turnovers, that West can win this.
West can absolutely win this game tonight and move on to the semifinals, which would be played at a neutral site. And yeah, absolutely they can win. That was you have 5 turnovers. That was 4 fumbles and an interception that turned into, I believe, 2 touchdowns for Silverton, which ended up, it was 28-21 was the final, Silverton winning. Excuse me. 5 turnovers and you lose by a touchdown, even on the road. If you can cut that in half or cut that down to 2 turnovers in a game and they only score on one of those, I think West wins. They're going to have trouble corralling Jake 2 games in a row. And when you think about it, 221 yards on the ground for Jake Lacoste, that's a great game for most running backs.
Sometimes you think, well, the turnovers, as you just said, if we don't commit those turnovers, we win. But the turnovers may be the result of a very good Silverton defense. That's how they were able to hold West to the lowest output of the year.
It is, absolutely. And you have to give Silverton a lot of credit for that.
How many of those fumbles by Jake?
I believe that it was 3.
3 fumbles.
I don't know that. I can picture 2. I think it was 3. But here's the deal about Silverton's defense. They treated Jake Lacoste differently than other teams treat him. A lot of teams wait for Jake to come to them and then try and make the tackle. Silverton was very aggressive. They brought the action to Jake and hit him earlier than he is used to being hit, and it turned into, and they were fundamentally very sound defensively. They tackled well. Got a lot of pressure on Lahota at quarterback, and they were aggressive. And West, if they don't do something to penalize Silverton for that aggression, play action pass, screen passes, short safe passes, those kinds of ingredients in the football game, and if West is one-dimensional, they're going to struggle tonight. And I don't think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see Coach Nyquist go into his playbook. I think that he's going to diversify this a little bit, and they aren't going to be able to just key on Jake Lacoste, because they did a great job defensively on him last time.
Well, that's good, because I was going to say, well, if we don't commit these turnovers, but you have to understand the reason for the turnovers and what are you going to do to prevent them.
Yeah, Silverton's quarterback threw 2 interceptions as well. So West Albany's defense was playing very well in that game, too. Joey Roos had an interception in that game, but let's not forget, too.
How about their running back?
Garcia, the running back. Chris Garcia. Very talented on both sides of the ball.
How many yards did he have?
I don't know.
200 and something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, 200 plus yards. So anyway, a very interesting matchup tonight.
It will be. The entire town of Silverton will be there. You mentioned that when we talked yesterday, you said that you were told that people were already putting blankets out on seats and reserving their spots. And
that's right.
The entire town of Silverton will be out. It's a very aggressive crowd, as we know from broadcasting amongst the stands. But I think West is going to be ready. I really do.
Silverton won the first game by 7 points. As a result, West finished 1 game behind in the league. And as a result, now when they match up again, it's Silverton that gets the home field advantage because they're ranked a little high with that victory. West still will not be able to get them at home this year. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it is. The other thing I'll say about Silverton, because you mentioned how good their defense is, they have allowed 68 points this season.
Wow.
That's under 7 points a game. Silverton and West had 21 against them. Springfield had 21 against them. So in the rest of the matchups all season, the other 8 games, you do the math. 68 minus 42. That'd be 26, but yeah.
When Ryan and Wally first did that first game, you have to understand, we often talk about the difficult points from which we do the high school broadcast. And they were up in the last row of the bleachers, seated in the last row of the bleachers, a table that you brought along.
Right.
Couldn't provide the table. And you sit in the bleachers with people all around you. Now, in this case, there really wasn't much of a space between Ryan, Wally, and the people next to them. Someone that was next to Ryan, I understand, may have been the brother of one of the...
we think it was Garcia's brother.
The players.
Uh-huh.
And he knew that you're on the air, was screaming the whole game really loud to be heard on the air. It makes it kind of tough. So when I called Silverton this week and said we'd be coming to do the game, is it possible to be in the press box? The answer was no. you'd have to be in the bleachers again. And I mentioned about the fans. They said, well, we're sorry. And of course they are. They're really nice people in the athletic office. There's nothing they can do about that. But I wondered if we could extend the area a little bit in which we sat. But that's when they told me we have people that are already putting blankets down for tomorrow night. This is yesterday when we deliberated about this, and they also mentioned a possibility. I said, well, how about if they go to the Albany side? And if you don't go to high school games, usually the home team is on one side. That's the larger portion. They'll always get the bigger turnout, and then the parents that follow up for a road game will sit on the smaller bleachers on the other side. So they said, yes, there is electricity over there. You could possibly go there this evening and set up in the back row of the bleachers there. But a decision had to be made by 4 o'clock this afternoon so that they could rope off the area and people would not already be sitting out there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you had to decide because on the West Albany side where they sit, there's no cover. And you could be out in the rain tonight. You can't broadcast these things in the rain. You can't have the equipment.
Yeah, you're using technology to make the broadcast happen. It can't get wet.
So you had a decision to make, and you've already made it.
We have.
You could either be on the Silverton side, and once again at the mercy of the people who are going to be sitting around you, and when they see you're broadcasting a game, some of them are going to take advantage of that. They're going to really yell, and should they get behind, Lord help the two of you.
Right.
Or you could have gone to the West Albany side where you would be among probably mostly, if not all,
complete friendlies. But,
who would either agree with your happiness, elation, or would show you compassion if they were being defeated.
Right.
But you could face the rain, in which case that would stop the broadcast.
That's right.
You had to make a decision. Would you tell the world now, Wally Ordeman?
We're taking one for the team. We're sitting under the cover. We're going to be amongst the Silverton faithful, and we're going to bring bodyguards with us.
I'm going home. I'm staying at home.
We're staying dry. Every report I looked at said 60% chance or greater of rain tonight. It's supposed to come in tonight, and there's just no way. We could probably do a pop-up tent, but if we tried to set something up in the stands on the visitors' side over there, it would end up eliminating some seating for some potential seating for West Albany fans. Yeah. That's the last thing we want to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with with what I consider Plan B, and that's to be in the stands with the Silverton faithful.
Speaking of standing, why don't you stand at home right now and give an ovation for Wally and Ryan? That's it. This is not an easy thing. The decision they have made is a tough one, and they may pay the price tonight. We will see. Now, I could go to that game tonight, and I thought about it, but I'll tell you the truth. If I went to the game, because I get involved in these things too, I would. If I saw that somebody was giving a tough time, I would get upset.
I'm going to go in figuring that it's business as usual and just assume that there aren't going to be any issues. And last time the one guy got under Ryan's skin a little bit, and I think if something similar were to happen, I'm just going to trade sides with Ryan and see if we can get him to a little bit mellower side of the table anyway, and maybe block that a little bit. So.
I think it would affect me too, and that's why I decided I will listen on the radio tonight, and whatever happens to you happens.
Very good.
We'll take this time out here. When we come back, we'll talk some Seahawks stuff. Ryan Pitts there, the son of me, was at the game last week for the Jets because he's a Jets fan. And speaking of crowds that can be a little bit dangerous while you're rooting for the other side, last week when we talked with Craig Terrell of the Seahawks, he mentioned you might want to tell your son maybe to wear a Seahawk jersey. Well, we'll talk about how things fared for Ryan rooting for the Jets last Sunday, and we'll talk with Craig Terrell of the Seahawks, talk some Seahawk football. They have a bye this week, and of course they beat up on the Jets last Sunday. Those discussions coming up here next. Did I mention this is from the Sidelines?
I believe you did.
Good. It is from the Sidelines every Friday morning here on locally owned and operated KGAL Radio, and very proud to be local.
Duck fans, we all know them. From the mild to the maniacal, they pop up everywhere. And they're always looking for ways to show their love for the U of O. Duck lips, duck hats, duck socks, and for the serious fans, a big yellow O painted right across their face. That's love. Now there's a new way for the truest of the true Duck fans to show their U of O pride. Introducing the Duck Card Platinum Visa Card. It's the only credit card that combines low rates, cash back, and the chance to support the University of Oregon Alumni Association with every purchase. When you get yours, you'll see it's a green card with a big yellow O front and center. It's a totally ducked-out Visa card, and it offers great fraud protection, online account access, all the bells and whistles you want in a Visa card. Apply for yours today at theduckcard.com. It's quick and easy. That's theduckcard.com. And hey, go Ducks. The Duck Card is offered by OCCU Card Services, LLC, a proud partner of the U of O Alumni Association.
There are lots of styling salons in town, so how do you choose where to go? Are you quite particular about your look? The Cutting Room in Albany is a progressive salon that offers the finest in hair care and extensive selection of quality styling products. Do you want your nails to look their best? How about getting your eyebrows waxed? The Cutting Room professionals strive for excellence with every client, so drop in across from Pops on Pacific or call for appointment at 541-928-0811.
Get fit. Feel better. Look better. Get in shape and have fun doing it. Get started now and join the Albany Athletic Club. Since 1979, the Albany Athletic Club has offered a clean, friendly, safe environment where fitness is fun. Play racquetball, lift weights, participate in cycling or yoga, or just relax in the sauna or whirlpool. Group fitness classes from low-impact dance to traditional circuit training. Your children will love the childcare. Don't wait. Join today. The Albany Athletic Club over the bridge in North Albany next to Tom's Garden Center.
The next performance of the Corvallis OSU Symphony Orchestra is Sunday, November 18th, 3 o'clock at the LaSalle Stewart Center. The orchestra, under the direction of Marlon Carlson, will perform works by Chopin, Ravel, and Debussy. Featured are Chopin's Piano Concerto No. 2 with Alexander Tutanov on piano, considered to be one of the former Soviet Union's most talented artists. Also, the orchestra will perform Debussy's Nocturnes and Ravel's Daphne and Chloe Part 2. Advance tickets are available at Grace Winds Music and Grassroots Books and Music in Corvallis. And for your convenience, tickets are also available online at cosusymphony.org. That's cosusymphony.org. Find information there how K through 8 and high school and college students can be admitted for free. Bring a friend, bring the family. Sunday afternoon, November 18th, 3 o'clock at the LaSalle Stewart Center on the OSU campus.
From PCs to the internet, Kim Commando has the answers. Saturday mornings on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
I know you were saying to yourselves earlier when I said I'm all set to go for the opening of the Baja Mashunga Band, you say, hey, you'll miss the next one. Don't count on it. Here it is. If I tell you what I just did, you might get a kick out of that. I already had the microphones on, and to start this session, this section of Valley Talk and From the Sidelines, I just hit the microphones again, which of course turned them off. You see, I was over-prepared. I don't know how to handle that. I hate to say this, but Craig Terrell was left a message, and don't try this at home. It's one of the reasons I do get paid the big money, and I'm so tired of going to the Safeway in Lebanon, and there's something about the frozen food section that I think brings out. First of all, people talk because I think they get kind of nervous and they need to warm up and they find themselves talking. And then I think they find themselves upset because it's so cold. And I hear people, talking about, hey, that guy down at, what's that station? KGAL or whatever it is, makes $3 million a year. And they insult that, I hear it.
I've never heard it.
I don't say anything. Well, you're not at the frozen food section in Lebanon.
Rarely.
What are you doing there?
I am rarely at the frozen food section at
This
Safeway.
is why I make the big money, because I can calmly come on and tell you that Craig Terrell left a message, and that a message is not a good thing to interview. I could call it back and try to interview it.
Nah, probably wouldn't be too compelling.
Oh, all right. Well, so maybe it will not work out. And I open by talking about the dangers to society of the technological innovations today. There's another one, the message machine.
Voicemail. Yeah.
Voicemail. Maybe he just doesn't want to answer. Maybe
You've left voicemails for me, and they're always legible and literate.
Well, the thing is, I don't get you immediately, and that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's going to the voicemail, and then they make a decision. The decision could be that they don't like you and they don't want to come on.
Right.
And when I call you and I leave a message, I'm thinking, he's listening, isn't he? And he doesn't want to talk to me, because I'm always someone that feels that people are, they don't like me. They don't want to talk to me.
See, I have no problem with the technology of voicemail and leaving messages and people using voicemail in the proper way. What offends me is when I know I'm making a phone call and I know that it's going to go to voicemail, where there's going to be zero effort to answer the phone.
Happens all the time now. Well, I texted, get this, I texted Craig yesterday.
Whoa.
And I gave him the phone number if he couldn't be there this morning to call me back. Let me know. Now, actually, I didn't text.
Okay. The truth comes out.
Well, I took the phone to Ryan Murphy, who's another young man at the station. And he used my phone and texted Craig. The thing is, because I have to go through an intermediate, I don't know what he texted Craig. Maybe it's, hey, watch this. Craig, I'll never talk to you again. Radio Ray. I don't know.
You can go into the history of your phone and see what was actually texted.
Well, I can't. I don't know. History
sure
of my
you
phone.
could.
History of my phone. I think I will try one more time, though. Last week, I think I may have left a message. There's one other time, and then we did get through them. Let me hit the redial, which is a wonderful thing here. Wonderful invention.
I'm impressed.
On the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the old days, I think you were tougher for having to redial. And not only that, you had the rotary dial.
Sure. You had to go all the way around.
There was something about
55893. Is that what that? Yeah.
Did I pick it up too long now? Can I still hit redial? Maybe I better hang up again before I hit redial. All right.
This is good stuff,
Let
right?
me hit redial. All right, I'm going to take my headphones off for just a moment so I can hear the phone. All right. Oh, Craig, I don't think we're going to make it today, but perhaps next Friday. I appreciate the times you've been on with us. And the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks will beat BYE this week. And I still want the final word from Marshawn Lynch. You're going up to Toronto to play the Bills. Find out what Marshawn thought of Buffalo, and we'll talk about it next week. Thanks, Craig. Wasn't that nice?
That was nice.
Yeah. Well,
you're very good at leaving messages.
So, what good does the texting stuff do? The Major League Awards this week. I don't know if you're that interested in the awards. I am. Any disappointments from them?
No, I thought these were well-deserved, the MVP awards. And what I really like about it, I'm kind of ambivalent to it, except that Buster Posey played in Salem. And I think that's a really cool thing that he played some minor league ball here. So for that, I am thrilled with their selections. And I think Cabrera is absolutely the right choice in the American League.
I was pleased with that. And for some reason, sometimes teams that I don't really know, and I don't know the Giants, that is, I know a good deal about them now, but not a huge Giant fan where I would be disappointed if they lost. But 2 years ago when they beat Texas, I was pleased they beat Texas. Mm-hmm. And he was very good in his rookie year, right. Very important in their playoff run. And then he missed last season after a collision at home plate.
I'd forgotten that.
Missed the whole season and came back this year. So for that reason, I think sometimes you get involved in sports for reasons other than it's your favorite team. I wanted to see him make a successful comeback. He was a young man.
Sure.
Had an injury that kept him out for a year.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Maybe he'll never, be the same. Came back and had a very good season. I was pleased with that. The American League, though, Miguel Cabrera, I would think that he had to be the most valuable player because he won the Triple Crown.
Right.
First player since Yastrzemski, who did win the MVP in 1967, winning the Triple Crown.
Who?
Spell Yastrzemski.
Pass. Actually, I think I could probably pull that one off. But
all right, go ahead. Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Yes, Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah. Well, I actually, it's a YAS, isn't it? It's not a
Good
Z.
for you.
Yeah. I was trying in my mind, I was trying to picture if it was a ZS or an SZ or no Z.
How many sports talk shows do you find spelling in it? This is
got to be rare.
No, this is why we're good. This is why it's educational. This is why kids get out of class at schools to listen to this show. YASTRZEMSAI. Yastrzemski.
Yeah, wouldn't have gotten it.
But Miguel Cabrera, I thought, probably should win the Cy Young Award, or the Most Valuable Player Award in his case. I was disappointed that Mike Trout, it was supposed to be a close contest, that he finished so far behind. And I think the reason is because in the last couple of weeks, Los Angeles faded from the playoffs, and the Tigers came on and won their division. Now, the voting comes in at the end of the year before the playoffs. So what happened then, they say, is not important. But I think that run by the Tigers to win their division and the fact that the Angels did not get into the division changed the whole idea. I disagree with that. If Trout was a contender, he could have been a contender weeks before, where they were saying this is going to be a close vote, and many thought that Trout would win.
Right.
Why would that all change just based upon the fact that the Tigers won a division which was possibly the easiest, certainly in the American League, among thinking of the National League, I would say easiest in baseball. The Tigers came on and beat out the White Sox. And Trout was in along with the Angels that were in there with the A's that had the tremendous run. Texas, many people thought they'd be back in the World Series. So what does whether they won the league or not have to do with their season and how important they were to the team?
I don't think it did this year. I really don't. I think as soon as he claimed the Triple Crown, I think so many votes swung over that way.
I don't think so.
I think you speak the absolute truth in previous years where the team's success has had a major role. I just don't think that's the case this year. I think Triple Crown, you had to give it to him, and I think a lot of voters went that way.
Well, I think so too. But it's most valuable player. What made his Triple Crown more valuable to the Tigers any more than Trout? I think Trout's addition to the Angels is what put them over the top this year, not Albert Pujols.
That's where you have voters that are using a different set of criteria. Some put more weight on the fact that they influence the success of their team. Some are just going strictly on the stats of the player, regardless of how the team was doing. And that's when you have any... this has been debated for decades in a lot of different sports when you talk about a most valuable player. And there's no resolution to it, Ray, unless you eliminate one aspect of it. Say, we're doing this strictly on their abilities and their stats, or we're doing it strictly on how they influence the success of their team. Mm-hmm. That'll never happen, because that wouldn't be the right thing to have happen. Now, if you say 1/3, 2/3, or whatever, but you have voters using a different set of criteria.
What does most valuable mean? That you had great stats?
That's my point exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point exactly. Define what most valuable to who.
What would you say?
I tend to put less weight on the influence on the team's success, and mainly because, especially in a sport where there are 9 players on the field at any one time, a lot more ingredients than, say, basketball, where you only have 5 on the court at any one time. So I don't know, I'm not saying this very well, but I do think that the individual stats certainly have to come into play, have to be weighted more than the influence on the success of the team.
I just think that the overwhelming vote for Cabrera, which supposedly was not going to happen a couple of weeks before the season concluded, was not just the fact that he won the Triple Crown, but the fact that his team made the playoffs versus Trout's team. And I think that's wrong, because he had an easier time for his team to make the playoffs. In fact, if he was that valuable, they should have been in first place all year long, because it was an easier league. That said, let's take a break here. And obviously, Craig Terrell will not join us today. The Reverend Mr. Orange and Black will. We have services from the Church of the Beaver Believer. What a heartbreak, the fourth quarter against Stanford.
Boy, wasn't it?
Oh, it was tough. But the Reverend, always believing, will show up. And we're coming back, aren't we?
We are.
Okay. We're not going to leave a message or anything when people dial back?
No voicemail on From the Sidelines.
We'll take this break.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit AutoOwners.com. This is Charles Osgood. Restaurant reviews don't get reviews very often, but in a moment, our CBS News colleague Carter Evans reviews the New York Times review by Pete Wells of Guy Fieri's newest eatery and drinkery in Manhattan called Guy's American Kitchen and Bar. Wells has a lot of questions about the place, says Carter Evans.
Were you struck by how very far from awesome the awesome pretzel chicken tenders are? Did you try that blue drink, the one that glows like nuclear waste, she says? Any idea why it tastes like a combination of radiator fluid and formaldehyde?
More questions along those lines after this. In this moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with who? Another state? Another country? Get a local, independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens to your car, home, or business. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people.
In Martinsville, call BB&T Insurance Services of Martinsville at 276-666-3600.
Since I've been wearing glasses with KGAL no-glare lenses, the difference in my vision is remarkable. I'm really seeing better. Now, when I'm playing with my grandkids, even with the inevitable smudges, I've got crystal clear vision. When I'm looking at those three faces, it's clearly true. They are beautiful. For no-glare lenses with great scratch and smudge, water, dust, and dirt resistance, ask your eye care professional for KGAL no-glare lenses. That's CRIZAL. Live life in the clear. You may know Guy Fieri, says Carter Evans.
Guy Fieri is one of the most recognizable chefs on TV. He hosts Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, the most popular show on the Food Network. But at Guy's American Kitchen and Bar in New York City, Fieri's newest restaurant, the food is leaving critics with a bad taste in their mouths. A really bad taste.
On Yelp, most customers say they won't be back for seconds.
The steak was so rubbery it felt like I was chewing beaver tail. And after getting our bill, we just felt cheated.
Wells' review in the Times went viral, says Russ Parsons, the LA Times food editor.
All of a sudden, it was kaboom. That was all anybody in the food world could talk about.
Evans asked Top Chef winner Michael Voltaggio,
how bad can a negative review be for business?
I think in this case, it's probably going to help because I'm curious now. Next time I'm in New York, I'll probably pass by and see what it's all about.
Fieri says he must be doing something right.
You can't have 8 restaurants and be doing it wrong or that wrong.
The Osgood File. Transcripts, podcasts, and MP3s of these programs can be found at theosgoodfile.com. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Duck fans, we all know them. From the mild to the maniacal, they pop up everywhere. And they're always looking for ways to show their love for the U of O. Duck lips, duck hats, duck socks, and for the serious fans, a big yellow O painted right across their face. That's love. Now there's a new way for the truest of the true Duck fans to show their U of O pride. Introducing the Duck Card Platinum Visa Card. It's the only credit card that combines low rates, cash back, and the chance to support the University of Oregon Alumni Association with every purchase. When you get yours, you'll see it's a green card with a big yellow O front and center. It's a totally ducked-out Visa card, and it offers great fraud protection, online account access, all the bells and whistles you want in a Visa card. Apply for yours today at theduckcard.com. It's quick and easy. That's theduckcard.com. And hey, go Ducks. The Duck Card is offered by OCCU Card Services, LLC, a proud partner of the U of O Alumni Association.
Need a home? Then listen to Real Estate Talk with Dave Pouch, Saturday mornings on Smart Talk 1580.
All right, those of you at home who say, well, Radio Ray was ready on the first couple of introductions to From the Sidelines. He can't possibly do it 3 in a row. Let me say this. Look at that. All right. Welcome back. Baha Meshuggah Band. Playing well this morning. And so are we.
You know what's so impressive about that is that you switched it over to CD1.
I did. I even switched and I knew which one it was.
Yes.
I knew which one it was on the board, and the CDs are to my right. I'm not looking at them when I press the button.
Right.
So I have to remember. And again, you can't see like you could in the old days to see which record was on which turntable.
Do not try this at home.
Oh, you got to be good now. We have some sports for you this weekend. We mentioned the key game tonight, West at Silverton. You guys do the pregame at 6:45.
Right.
45 for you.
Yep.
7 o'clock game time tonight. That's on 920K show. That should be a very interesting game down to the wire at Silverton this evening. Ryan and Wally will be there. We have basketball tonight on the other station. That's this one, 1580 KGAL. Vanderbilt plays the U of O tonight. It's hard to get into the basketball season right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Of course, you're involved with West still. But even just the football season and the Beavers and Ducks coming up yet. They haven't met. But Vanderbilt and Oregon tonight. Let's say Kazemi is the last name. Arlison Kazemi, the transfer from Rice, is now eligible to play for Oregon. They figured that he would be, so he's been practicing with them. He's 7 foot, averaged 12 points a game for Vanderbilt, but 10 rebounds, and he's a big addition for Oregon. No pun intended. Mm-hmm. He can play and could possibly play tonight because he has practiced with them. 7 o'clock for the pregame, 7:30 game time tonight on KGAL. Then tomorrow, Stanford at Oregon. That should be interesting. Stanford has the top run defense in the country. Cal gave Oregon some problems. If Stanford can stay with them like that, Stanford's certainly better than Cal.
Well, Cal gave Oregon some problems on the ground, and I thought Cal ran the ball very well, and Stanford certainly, with their big front four, is much more likely to give Oregon problems on the ground.
And the Cal defense,
I just don't think their defense can stop them.
No, Cal defense slowed them down.
Yeah. Stanford's defense is they're solid, no question about it. But you can't stop this train. Oregon just too many weapons.
3:30 pregame, 5 o'clock game time tomorrow. And for those that like it, ESPN Game Day is there tomorrow morning on campus at 6. You may have to camp out like some people do tonight. And Cal, of course, at Oregon State tomorrow, 7:30 at the Parker Dome. Boy, I hope the Beavers can win that one. We better take one break here. We'll take a break here. And when we come back, the Reverend Mr. Orange and Black has some thoughts, of course, about his team, the universe's team, God's team, the Oregon State Beavers, when we return.
When you look out across Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. But we're here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other, in fact. Hi, I'm Dave Wood, President and CEO of Willamette Community Bank. We provide an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that? Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC.
Do you have dark circles or puffy eyes? If you have dark circles under your eyes, bags, or puffiness, we're looking for you. Because right now, we're offering a risk-free trial of a fast-acting eye cream to listeners of this station. You heard right. Every listener who calls now can try a risk-free jar of Lumitone, the cream that fades dark circles from view in seconds. We only have a limited supply of risk-free jars, so don't wait. For details, just call 1-800-865-1483. Lumitone makes dark circles less visible in seconds. Watch your dark circles fade from view like magic. And Lumitone is great for puffiness, bags, and fine lines by the eyes. This risk-free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Call us now for details on this Lumitone risk-free offer. Just call 1-800-865-1483. That's 1-800-865-1483. 1-800-865-1483.
Start the Christmas season in style at the Winter's Eve Corvallis.
Friday, November 30th from 5 to 10 p.m.
Shops stay open late to offer exclusive discounts to ticket holders who will enjoy an evening of fine food samplings from over 25 local restaurants and caterers. Other attractions include a silent auction. Winter's Eve Corvallis benefits nonprofit programs like Operation School Bell, Hug-A-Bear, and many more. Get your tickets now at the Inkwell Home Store, Rice's Pharmacy, The Clothes Tree, Schmidt's Garden Center, and Wine Styles. Enjoy Christmas in the air at the Winter's Eve Corvallis.
Friday, November 30th.
If you've ever wished the money you spent on everyday shopping made a difference in the community where you live, your wish has come true. Points for Profit is a unique program where local businesses like GeoWilly.com, doTERRA Essential Oils, and R. Schweitzer Construction have joined to help local nonprofit organizations. It's easy. You, your family, your friends shop local with our sponsors, save your receipts, and then turn them into the participating nonprofit organizations. It really is easy to make a difference to nonprofit groups like Teen Challenge and Veterans Commemoration Association, who compete to earn points by shopping at local business sponsors and then trade those points for real dollars at the end of the year. It couldn't be simpler for you to make a difference in your community. Points for Profit puts fun into fundraising. So enjoy shopping again, knowing it will make a difference in your community when you save receipts from businesses like GeoWilly.com, doTERRA Essential Oils, and R. Schweitzer Construction. Call 541-791-2901 today or visit pointsforprofit.org for a current list of participating nonprofit organizations and the businesses in your community who support them.
Less hype, just quality news, sports, and smart talk. From your friends at 1580 KGAL.
Shocking the world again is the Baja Meshuggah Band ready to fire.
You're 4 for 4.
Not by much. It's just a few seconds, that's right. The Beavers and Cal tomorrow. A must-win for the Beavers. It would be nice to see them go into the Civil War game. And Oregon, too. I'd like to see them beat Stanford. And then there's more on the line for Oregon State to win that game and for Oregon to win the game. And that would be nice. We shall see. Okay, we have that game, Stanford and the Ducks on the air, 3:30 pregame tomorrow. I mentioned that. And then meanwhile, out at the Parker Dome, well, not meanwhile, but tomorrow night, the Beavers and Cal. However, before that game starts, the fans have a disappointment about last week in Stanford. That one hurt. Let's see what the Reverend Mr. Orange and Black has to say.
This is the Church of the Beaver Believer. I am the Reverend Mr. Orange and Black. Saturday's defeat at the hands of the Stanford Cardinal was particularly disappointing. Yes, it was our second loss of the season, but more than that, it was a loss that denies us a trip to a BCS Bowl, and in particular, crushes the chance for our long-dreamt-of journey to the Rose Bowl. But through our veil of Stanford-induced tears, we must football focus to see that this is still one remarkable year. We still have a chance for a splendid 9-win season.
Hey, Rev, we already have 7 wins, and there are 3 games remaining. Cal, Nicholls State, and the Ducks. 7 plus 3 is 10.
I know that. And the Ducks. We still have a chance for a goodly number of wins this season. Now, dummy up. Not only have the Beavers produced a fine season on the field, the national attention which they have received has brought new members into the fine football flock here at the COBB. In fact, I want to play for you a recording I made of a conversation I had with a man I met just outside our front door. His name was Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob, nice to meet you. I am the Reverend Mr. Orange and Black. Won't you come inside to the Church of the Beaver Believer?
What you got in there, good day?
What we provide, my friend, is nourishment for your pigskin person.
French fried potatoes?
We don't have any French fried potatoes. Are you a football fan, Billy Bob?
I don't reckon I got no reason to kill nobody.
Well, then, I see you're not a serious football fan, just a pigskin part-timer, but that's fine. Who do you like?
I like them French fried potatoes.
Forget the potatoes. I see you're wearing a Duck sweatshirt. Did you ever get any French fried potatoes from the Ducks?
Well, they give me some when they turn me loose.
Really? Oh, Nike shoes, French fried potatoes. They will do whatever they can to seduce the poor wayfaring fan. But here at the Church of the Beaver Believer, we offer you more. We offer you truth. We offer you sports salvation. We offer you directions to the proper pigskin path of life, the road to OSU.
But I'll bet you the good Lord wouldn't send nobody like you to Hades.
Absolutely not. And you too, my friend, can be saved. Become a member of the COBB.
No, sir.
No, sir. Don't you want to be saved from your current football folly?
No, sir.
Then, how about some French fried potatoes?
I want to be baptized.
And so another Beaver Believer begins his football journey. There will be pigskin potholes as there was on Saturday. And that's why we must close today with hymn number 16, So We Haven't Been Lately to Pasadena.
No, we haven't been lately to Pasadena.
That's a long note. No, we haven't been lately to Pasadena.
We want to go someday. We want to go.
It's been a long, long time since we have been there.
But we want to go someday. We want to go.
We lost to Stanford, but so it goes. May the cardinal of paradise, the bird, not the color, fly up your nose. And everybody says that there's nothing meaner than to deny the Beavs a trip to Pasadena. We came so close, yes, we really tried. Third time in 5 years we've been denied. We won't be going to Pasadena. Maybe next year.
You know, the good thing about that, there are several times in the last many years that We Haven't Been Lately to Pasadena was a song we would play in the Civil War Church of the Beaver Believer and play it for the Ducks because they had a chance to go and we'd be threatening to beat them. What is nice about it is that this time, again, the third time in 5 years, we're the ones that are denied. That means that things have improved.
That's right.
Despite the
That's
loss.
right. Higher expectations.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. When we come back, I think the ironic thing this week is this whole Cody Vaz, Sean Mannion thing, going from one to the other. Sean Mannion now is the quarterback on Saturday. Remember a few weeks ago how bad we felt when he was not going to be in?
Right.
And now we have, there's some doubts because he's coming back.
We are fickle, aren't we?
The irony of a football season. We'll discuss that when we return from the sidelines.
Duck fans, we all know them From the mild to the maniacal, they pop up everywhere. And they're always looking for ways to show their love for the U of O. Duck lips, duck hats, duck socks. And for the serious fans, a big yellow O painted right across their face. That's love. Now there's a new way for the truest of the true Duck fans to show their U of O pride. Introducing the Duck Card Platinum Visa Card. It's the only credit card that combines low rates, cash back, and the chance to support the University of Oregon Alumni Association with every purchase. When you get yours, you'll see it's a green card with a big yellow O front and center. It's a totally ducked out Visa card, and it offers great fraud protection, online account access, all the bells and whistles you want in a Visa card. Apply for yours today at theduckcard.com. It's quick and easy. That's theduckcard.com. And hey, go Ducks. The Duck Card is offered by OCCU Card Services, LLC, a proud partner of the U of O Alumni Association.
You will always get your money's worth, and the food is fresh, original, and tasty at Ixtapa Family Mexican Restaurant in Lebanon. Their fresh Mexican cuisine can be enjoyed in their colorful new restaurant on the same convenient corner. Fun? Yes. Large portions? Yes. Affordable? Yes. Visit them for lunch or dinner where the parking is convenient and the atmosphere is sweet. Drop in for their daily $3 drink special. Enjoy Ixtapa Family Mexican Restaurant today at 25 North Main in Lebanon.
A good web page is a must sales tool for today's businesses. Santiam Communications will put together an efficient, thorough web page that is right for your business. Santiam Communications knows how to bring customers to your door and your phone. Call them at 541-223-7444. Put Santiam Communications to work for you. Call them at 541-223-7444 or visit santiamcommunications.com.
Wild Hair on Main Street in Lebanon presents the Wild Hair Players.
I'm a long hair, I've got bad hair in my eye hair. I need help.
Oh yeah? I need a manicure and then a pedicure and then I'll top it off with a wax.
Ouch! Hey, look over there.
What does that sign say?
Why, it says wild hair.
Wild hair? It's just what we need.
Yeah!
Wild hair, nail and foot care.
You mean reflexology?
Yes, I do. Wild hair, hair and nail care for guys and for gals.
And kids, too.
Wild Hair at 1820 Main Street in Lebanon. A full-service salon open 6 days a week. Stop by or call for an appointment. 258-2234. 258-2234.
Wild Hair.
The Car Show, Saturday afternoons on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
Will he make it? I think it's the fifth time this morning, isn't it? You bet. The new me. Are you alert? Ready? Confident? Well, maybe. Actually, I don't think any of those three fit. By the way, I think life is filled with hope. I think someday Shelley Garrett will hit that note and for gals. At the same time, the Beavers will go to the Rose Bowl. It shall happen. It shall come to pass someday. You know, I was just looking down the list here, Wally, of managers of the year. And the number of people who have been fired after they won Manager of the Year. Buck Showalter is now with the Orioles. He's been fired. He was fired at Texas. He was fired at New York. Lou Piniella has won it a couple of times when he was in the American League. He's been fired from in the National League. He was fired at Chicago. I don't remember if he was fired at New York. I think he was fired there as well. There's several others here, which just goes to show you got to have the players.
Yeah, and you're not saying fired immediately after they were. You're not saying
no,
same
not if
season.
they were managed
later on.
Eventually, eventually they were fired or went somewhere else and they got fired. It's kind of ridiculous. The same thing with Sean Mannion and Cody Vaz. When Sean Mannion left and Cody Vaz was going to take over, we were scared to death for the Beavers.
Right.
Now all of a sudden Cody Vaz is gone and Sean Mannion, because the last time he was in, the 4 interceptions against Washington, everybody were worried. How strange that is.
Yeah, the irony of it, you're right, is certainly, we're fickle as sports fans, absolutely. But we all want whoever gives us the best chance to win. My thought right now is you go ahead and, because Vaz hurt his ankle last week, you have Mannion start, and maybe you get Vaz an extra week of rest, so maybe Vaz starts the Civil War.
We'll see.
I don't know.
I hear the music. In fact, we're right close to the end. Don't forget 7 o'clock tonight on K-Show. Big game, Silverton and West Wally.
The Mid-Valley home of Smart Talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.